And the headlines: new Omicron variant of COVID-19 discovered in Nigeria. HIV infects one child every 2 minutes as world marks World AIDS Day. Primary school teachers in Abuja suspend strike. And on the foreign scene, Uganda sends troops into the Republic of Congo to hunt ADF after air raid. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba. Thank you for joining. The news in detail now. Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, says it has confirmed 2 cases of the Omicron COVID-19 variant in Nigeria. The NCDC Director General, Dr. Ifedayo Adetifa, in a statement said the cases were discovered during routine travel tests required of all international travelers and genomic sequencing at the Nigeria Center for Disease Control through its National Reference Laboratory, Abuja. The development comes after Canada said it detected 2 cases of the variant from Nigerian travelers. Now, United Nations Children's Fund says at least 300,000 children are newly infected with HIV in 2020, which translates to 1 child in every 2 minutes. This is contained in a report released by the UNICEF on Tuesday to commemorate World AIDS Day. According to the report, another 120,000 children died from AIDS-related causes during the same period, or 1 child every 5 minutes. The latest HIV and AIDS global snapshot warned that a prolonged COVID-19 pandemic is deepening the inequalities that had long driven the HIV pandemic, putting vulnerable children, adolescents, pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers at increased risk of missing life-saving HIV prevention and treatment services. Now, in this report, TrustTV's Aisha Salihu explains the dreaded HIV virus.
The origin of the human immunodeficiency virus has been a subject of scientific research and debate since the virus was identified in the 1980s. There is now a wealth of evidence on how, when, and where HIV first began to cause illness in humans. HIV, or human immune virus, is a virus that targets cells in the immune system. Over time, the immune system begins to fail, which is called immunodeficiency, and this increases the risk of infections and tumors that a healthy immune system would usually be able to fend off. These complications are referred to as AIDS, or acquired immune deficiency syndrome. The first 2 AIDS cases in Nigeria was diagnosed in 1985 and reported in 1986 in Lagos State, one of which was a young female sex worker, aged 13 years, from one of the West African countries. Infection rates of HIV are not slowing fast enough to reach the goal of eradicating AIDS by 2030, according to a report by the United Nations Group to Fight the Disease. The report by the Joint United Nations Programme on HIV and AIDS said shortcomings in the pandemic response can also be seen in the fight against the decades-old disease. In June 2021, UNAIDS set new targets to reach by 2025, bringing HIV services to 95% of those who need them, reducing annual HIV infections to fewer than 370,000 and reducing AIDS-related deaths to fewer than 250,000 by 2025, although the report said the world is off track to meet those goals. It further highlighted 5 urgent global AIDS strategy priorities it said should be funded and implemented globally for pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response.
Now, commuters and passengers in Bauchi metropolis say Nigerian people are the most difficult phenomena to deal with, especially in terms of compliance with laws and order. They made the statement during the monthly sanitation exercise in the state. TrustTV correspondent Adamu Imam has details.
The monthly sanitation exercise was designed to make people more enlightened on cleaning and protection of their immediate environment. but issues of non-compliance is one area that need to be checked. Ugandan passenger and a commuter says the sanitation exercise is a welcome development, but people are naturally offenders.
And we have been doing it. Only that many of us we are lawbreakers, because law is meant to be broken. You understand? So arresting somebody is what is good if you fail, but when there is an emergency, because Nigeria needs force. Without force, you cannot get it. Like everybody is running up and down. They seize me, they seize me. Did you obey? No. But when you obeyed, nothing will happen. Abi?
According to the State Environmental Protection Agency, new modalities has already been adopted.
Having some places to hang around with people discussing. So we are calling the general public that what we are doing is not for the safer, it's not for the government, but we are trying to ensure that we safeguard the public health. So people should comply by not just restricting the movement, but by participating fully in sanitizing their immediate environment.
However, Saibu Adam National Environmental Standard and Regulation Enforcement Agency explained that enforcement is key to change people's attitude towards sanitation.
Get to see a lot of people going out on their daily businesses as if it's not a sanitation day. The least we expect is you should sanitize yourself. You should at least sanitize your surroundings, your house, and so on and so forth.
Meanwhile, Basipa opined that they will continue collaboration with key stakeholders, especially community leaders. Adamu Imam, TrustTV News, Bauchi.
Now, Deputy Controller General of Nigeria Correctional Service, Ahmed Tukur, says gunmen carried successful attack on the Jos Correctional Center due to few armed guards on duty at the time of the attack. Tukur, who visited the Jos Correctional Center on Tuesday to take stock, and said that the gunmen that came overwhelmed the armed guards on duty and gained entrance. Speaking to newsmen after his visit, he confirmed that about 252 inmates at the Correctional Center in Jos were set free by the gunmen during the attack, which took place last Sunday evening.
Here, they were able to penetrate into the custodial center, and some of our inmates escaped, some through the fence and some through the door you are seeing here. From the door here, if not for the repairs, you would have seen the bullet penetrations on the door, and that was how they got in. Some of the inmates died through bullet wounds. We also lost
honest, I think it's probably off.
An armed guard staff.
I think it's off from this
that
place.
was outside.
No, here, the front here.
One of the staff also got wounded, and 6 of our inmates are right now in the hospital receiving treatment. Already about 17 as of today have been recaptured back, and we have the hope that with the things we have on ground, the records we have on ground, we will be able to recapture a good number of them.
Now, Justice Awoli Chikere of the Federal High Court in Abuja has declared banishment of the deposed Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi, to Awe in Nasarawa State as unlawful and a violation of fundamental human rights. The court held that the manner of Sanusi's removal from the palace after his dethronement and taken by security operatives or on the directive of the Kano state government to Nasarawa State against his will is a vicious violation of his rights to personal liberty and freedom of movement. The judge declares as a nullity the Emirate Council Law 2019, under which the Kano state government claimed to have acted, averring that as a citizen who has committed no offense, Sanusi is entitled to reside in any part of the country. The judge awards 10 million naira damages against the Kano State government, the Inspector General of Police and the SSS, also ordering them to offer public apology to Sanusi in at least 2 national dailies. Justice Chikere excluded the Attorney General of the Federation from the suit on the grounds that the applicant failed to establish his case against the 4th respondent. Balarabe Mahmoud, a senior advocate of Nigeria, is the lead counsel for the deposed emir, and he speaks on the judgment.
The earlier position challenging the banishment and the maltreatment, I would say, that was meted against the 14th Emir of Kano following his deposition back in March 2020. So at that time, as you may recall, the Emir did not challenge the deposition, but he did seek an enforcement of his fundamental rights, both in terms of the banishment and in terms of the confinement. So the court ruled this morning that that action was illegal and also awarded a compensation in his favor. Well, I think the most important thing is that the court had declared illegal and a violation of his fundamental rights, the banishment, as well as his forceful transportation to away the night following his deposition. So all of that has been annulled in terms of declaring it, unconstitutional and illegal and a violation of his rights. So what the court decided also was that he must be given a public apology as well as a compensation, which I think is a fair outcome.
Meanwhile, Kano State government said it will appeal the judgment. Now, Israel has donated a computer classroom worth $100,000 to Nigeria to boost effective teaching and learning in the nation's education sector. Charged the affairs of Israel and acting ambassador of Israel to Nigeria, Yotam Kerman, while donating the facility on Tuesday in Abuja, said the gesture is in commemoration of the Theodore Benjamin Zverev Herald. The computer classroom building, which housed 20 pieces of computers, a projector, reading tables and chairs, library books and other learning accessories, was donated to GSS Senior Secondary School, Apo Resettlement in Abuja.
This donation in the memory of Theodore Benjamin Zverev, the visionary who fought for the emergence of the Jewish homeland known today as the State of Israel. It is my great honor to represent the State of Israel in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, humbly and respectfully, for the benefit and prosperity of both nations. The State of Israel recently marked the 61st anniversary of diplomatic relations and friendship with the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I'm proud to note with satisfaction the State of Israel and Nigeria have successful collaboration in the fields of education, as well as security, technology, agriculture, and innovation that exist between our countries today. It is important to put an emphasis on education and innovation to create a place in which children can learn. This fully renovated and equipped computer classroom will facilitate the development and enhancement of the students' computer skills. Certainly, what we are about commissioning today is the right step in the right direction.
What I have is coming up.
There is no gainsaying the fact that this is an age of information and communication technology. And when we look at the issue of the COVID-19 pandemic, for example, it started somewhere. It spread like wildfire. So education is even much more important, spread faster than COVID-19. And that's more reason why this singular gesture we're receiving from you today will go down in the annals of the history of Secondary Education Board that we cannot forget the State of Israel. The Honorable Minister of the Territory is very happy with what you have done. We're happy about it. I want to assure you that we're going to be meticulous about handling the facilities here, and we will ensure that the students will reap the full benefit of the purpose for which this center is being renovated for.
So this is what we do in Secondary Education Board, that we have opened the corridors of our doors open for anybody. If you want to give a borehole, you want to furniture, you want to paint a block of classrooms, then you come and let's discuss. When we discuss and we are sure of who you are, we let our doors open and then you come and do. And it may interest you to note, Ambassador, that we have 88 senior secondary schools as of today in the FCT, and some are in rural areas that need a lot of assistance.
Now, primary school teachers in the Federal Capital Territory have suspended the strike they embarked upon on November 18, 2021. They had suspended teaching over the failure of the area councils in the FCT to implement their promotional allowances. But on Wednesday, Comrade Ame Baba, chairman of the Nigerian Union of Teachers, Kubwa chapter, told Daily Trust that pupils were expected to resume classes immediately. The union had initially started with a 5-day warning strike, which elapsed on November 24th when its secondary schools wing suspended its own. Baba said the decision to halt the strike was achieved following an intervention made by the FCT Senator Philip Aduda and Mohammed Musa Bello, Minister of the FCT. He said they promised to resolve the issue in a different way. You're watching Trust TV News Update, and coming up after the break, price regulation for building materials. Do stay with us.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the TrustTV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search TrustTV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. TrustTV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Trust News Update. Now let's have another look at some of the main stories again. Nigeria Center for Disease Control says it has confirmed 2 cases of the Omicron COVID-19 variant in Nigeria. Plus, United Nations Children's Fund says at least 300,000 children are newly infected with HIV in 2020, which translates to 1 child in every 2 minutes. Now, Lagos State Government has rejected the resolution of the Judicial Panel of Inquiry on restitution for victims of SARS-related abuses and other matters, which it said no fewer than 9 persons lost their lives when armed soldiers stormed the Lekki toll gate to disperse NSAS protesters on October 20, 2020. This is contained in a 41-page white paper released by the state government on Tuesday night. The government countered the findings by the Justice Doris Okuwobi-led panel recommendation, noting that only 3 of the bodies which post-mortem examinations is conducted on is from Lekki, and only 1 had gunshot injury, among other reasons. Now, the state government, however, said it will forward the recommendations made by the #NSAS panel that disciplinary measures should be meted on military officers deployed to disperse protesters at the Lekki toll gate to federal government, National Economic Council, and the Nigerian Army. Now, about 50 passengers aboard a boat are feared death after the boat capsized on Tuesday evening on the Bagwai River in Bagwai local government area of Kano State. The police spokesperson in Kano, Abdullahi Kiyawa, who confirmed the incident, said 7 of the passengers in the boat were rescued after the accident, but the others are still missing, but did not provide the number of the passengers in the boat. Among the passengers are Islamic school children going to an Islamic event in the local government's headquarters, as well as conveying Islamia school children and other passengers from Badau village to Bagwai town, the council headquarters, on their way to Tofa local government area further ahead for the Maulud celebration. Now, some non-governmental organizations are calling calling for the creation of a special court that will treat cases of gender-based violence and sexual abuse, as well as sanction stiffer penalties for perpetrators. Port Harcourt-based groups National Association of CDOGs, International Federation of Women Lawyers, and International Elite Women Initiative said since 1 in 3 women and girls aged 15 to 24 experience gender-based violence and delay in justice delivery is feeling the menace.
It is often said that women suffer abuse in the hands of people they know, love, and trust, which is causing normalization of gender-based violence against women and girls under the guise of culture, tradition, and religion. The National Association of CDOGs, the International Federation of Women Lawyers, and the International Elite Women Initiative want special court to try and punish offenders in a swift manner. Leader Port Harcourt chapter of NAS noted that the UN 2030 goal to eliminate violence against women could be attainable if all parties involved understand that they are all caught up in a web of mutuality.
Violence anywhere is a threat to peace everywhere. Be it to a woman, be it to a man. In essence, we are all encouraged to come together and pursue peace and pursue equality. It's important that we understand the real intent for this day set aside to encourage the whole world over to stand up against violence.
A lawyer representing International Elite Women Initiative, Enjoyance Jumbo, said the justice sector must prioritize prosecution of perpetrators of gender-based violence. The legal officer at FIDA in the state, Edna Amadi, laments over high cases of sexual abuse, calling for more sensitization as well as collaboration with the people on the need to report cases of abuse to the association.
Further collaboration with FIDA and IRI to share cases they've handled, they've determined the court, so that people can learn from it.
Tell the person to watch my face,
also find out
please.
they need to cascade
West.
incidents that are reported to them, so that people can
West,
learn.
can you hear me?
That way, we will go a long way.
I said, can you hear me?
In the campaign.
Can you hear me?
In Nigeria, we have sufficient laws. We have enough laws, although some can be amended, but
They
if
cannot
we
hear
go
me
by
from
what
here,
we
have
have
you?
now, I
Who
mean,
is prompting,
it's something
please?
that we can make do with. However, there are some challenges. We have so many cases that the courts are handling. I would like a situation where there will be special criminal courts, where every matter that has to do with rape, that has to do with violence, defilement, and all of that will be assigned to, so that there will be speedy access to justice.
So you're talking about defilement and rape. In these cases, if the victims are not willing to speak up, there is little or more that FIDA can do.
Now, annual Road Traffic Officers of Nigeria, otherwise called VIO, have converged on Abuja for annual conference for directors and chiefs from the Federal Capital Territory and 36 states of the Federation, with focus on key issues like effective drivers, education, and road traffic law enforcement. Maridia Umar reports.
The conference brings together all the directors and chiefs of road traffic officers in the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT to exchange ideas, improve on areas earlier realized to be requiring adjustments, and also review enforcement mechanisms to ensure compliance, adherence, and observation of rules that govern the roads.
It's about the traffic management, enforcement, and driver education, which are two critical areas when you are talking about the issue of safety of road traffic management in Nigeria.
Chairman, Nigeria Transportation Commissioners Forum, Ramatu Muhammad Yaradua, speaks on general appraisal of public feedback and the discharge of duties by road traffic officials.
We're trying our best to look into every matter, but then it is very, very important for every state to have a legislative backing. And this is the reason why we're here, so we can, further discuss with all the VIA officers here and help them. And at the same time, our forum would also have a meeting on this to help all VIA officers in their various states to make sure that they achieve their goal.
National chairman of the conference encouraged road users to apply safety measures during this Ember months.
They should not be in a rush to go to anywhere. They should take it JJ, and gradually they're going to be there. Because one of the cardinal points of this year's conference is to ensure that at the end of this year, come January 2022, nobody will issue a life-saving documents like roadworthiness to any vehicle they have not seen. Neither would anybody who will sign or authorize the printing of a driver license when you have not tested the person.
The conference is attended by relevant stakeholders in the transportation sector. Martia Umar, TrustTV News, Abuja.
Now, the Union of Plaster of Paris workers in Nigeria has called on the federal government to regulate the price of plaster of Paris materials in the market. The workers made the call at the National Congress of the Union, with the team coming together to speak with one voice in Abuja.
We are crying. We want to cry to the federal government to come to our aid, where we can sit and dialogue with those that are importing the materials. Before anything will be done, any rise of price will be done there, let us know. The only way we know we can cry to federal government is to have that license, put ourselves together, have this union, so that the federal government can sit with us, hear us, and come to our aid.
We are trying to put our head together so that we can make something which everybody will benefit in future. This thing is not something that we rush into it, but we encourage people, more people should come in and join us so that we can make it.
As a group of POP workers, we are very honorable members in the society. Those who do not know the meaning of this profession should know that without us, there will be most houses will not have the beautification. And the message I'm passing out to my other colleagues, it is for us to come together as one family under one umbrella, so that our profession will be well respected in the society.
And on the foreign scene, Ugandan troops have crossed into the Democratic Republic of Congo as part of a joint operation against the Allied Democratic Forces, an armed group that both neighboring countries accuse of killing civilians. Ugandan Army spokeswoman Flavia Bekwaso says the two countries bombarded the group with artillery and air raids. Large numbers of Ugandan soldiers entered the DRC at the Nobili border post in North Kivu State. The DRC's Catholic Church says the ADF has killed about 6,000 civilians since 2013, while a respected monitor, the Kivu Security Tracker, blames it for more than 1,200 deaths in North Kivu's Beni area alone since 2017. The ADF is deeply feared in eastern DRC. The group was founded in Uganda in 1995 and later moved to the DRC in March. The United States formally linked it to ISIL. And with that, we wrap up Trust News Updates, but you can click the subscribe button on our YouTube and also follow us across all social media handles for latest news updates. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.